how you can make the most money with the least risk. Now, there's two angles that I really want to shift on right now, but really I want this video focusing on the latter. So number one, I want to talk about fast and slow money. And it's understanding the difference in these terminology. Now, you may not have ever heard of this before, which is absolutely fine, but your fast money is your active money. So active money means you are exchanging time for that money. And so a job is one of those. Owning a business is one of those. And the only thing that I really want you focusing on is how can you increase your value? And there's so many ways to increase your skill level out there to maximize your income. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this video talking about fast money, but genuinely, if you are earning 20, 25K and you want to increase how much money you make, the number one thing you could do with your money right now is invest in yourself. Warren Buffett says you are your best asset. So I'd say if you're earning sub 40 grand, your number one thing you can invest your money in is developing your skill set and your mindset. Once your mindset is tight and bulletproof and your skill set is above most, you will earn a crazy amount of money. And you can think of the sporting world for this. So if you think about football, let's say, the top 1% of footballers get paid an insane amount of money. And then the top 10 footballers, say like Ronaldo, Messi, etc., earn in like ridiculous sums of money in comparison to the top 1%. Whereas the other 99% of people earn very little money in the grand scheme of things and have to have a full-time job on top of their football career. The higher your value, the more exponential your earning opportunities. Now, what I actually want to focus on is the slow money. And your slow money is called that for a reason. Why is it slow? Because it's slow. Also, you might hear it called passive. Why is it called passive? Because the idea is that you are going to set and forget those types of investments. The reason why I really want to push on this is the biggest fuck up that I see from people making investments is they're investing in something that is an active income stream. So you're on a property investment channel right now. I see people investing in serviced accommodation as their passive investment. It's like you couldn't get something less passive than doing a serviced accommodation where guests are checking in and out multiple times a week. People are having parties in your house and so on and so forth. And so my number one rule for this and the whole foundations of the information I'm about to go through is passive wins all day long. And it is boring. Boring investments are your best investments. What types of investments can you make? Well, I'm going to make this very simple for you. Instead of me giving any limelight or time to all of the bullshit that's out there, why don't I just talk to you about two things that are near guaranteed to make you money in the long term. Will they get you rich quick? No, but if you start quickly, you will become a millionaire over the course of your lifetime. Big promise, I know. So we're not going to talk about some of the BS out there. So number one is stocks and shares, and number two is property. There we go, finished the video, done. Now, let me be a bit more obvious than that. So let's say you're watching this and you've got a decent amount of money, but not a crazy amount of money. Let's say you've got, I don't know, £70,000. Just as an example, I'll put 70K in the top there. Now, that's a good amount of money. And by the way, even if you don't have this money, that's fine. Watch the video. I think you'll still get value from this. So stocks and shares. Well, when you're investing in stocks and shares, I'm going to give you a great tip. You don't have a fucking clue what you're doing. Okay, that's my tip for you. Stop pretending that you do. I don't know why I'm so aggressive towards you right now, but if you're watching this video, I can near guarantee you don't know what PE ratios are. You don't know how to analyze the stock price. You don't know how to look at the management team of the company to understand if they've got good fundamentals. You don't know that you need to look at their vision and their values and how they run their business. You don't know how to do the financial assessment on their balance sheet, their cash flow forecast and their profit and loss statements. And if you don't know all of that, then how do you think you're going to win? Most people that trade shares lose money, okay? They lose money because they don't know what they're talking about. So why am I even saying this, okay? A lot of people go into certain sectors, and by the way, I'm talking from experience. I've done it where I buy shares at Apple because I feel it's the right time, shares in Facebook. Now, you're a little bit safer with stuff like Apple, but buying things like Facebook when it come out with a ridiculous share price and it's like no valuation backing whatsoever, you're absolutely crazy. So why am I saying invest in stocks and shares? Well, there's 3 reasons. Number 1 is ISAs. An ISA is a tax wrapper. Now, I'm assuming that 70k is in your personal name, okay? You've been paid it, you paid your tax on it, whatever. You can currently, at the time of this video, put up to £20,000 in a stocks and shares ISA. I am going to share what I do. This is not financial advice. I, in fact, break this up. I put 4k and, this is not financial advice, but you're a fucking idiot if you don't do this. If you're a staff member, start doing this. Ollie, start doing this. If you have 4k, you have something called a LISA, which also can be stocks and shares, by the way. I personally don't bother with cash ones, but that's just me and my risk appetite. Stocks and shares, LISA. You can put up to £4,000 a year, tax year, from April the 5th, and the government will put £1,000 on top. Meaning you are going to make a guaranteed return of 25% on your money, but it's capped at 4 grand. Look into it, trust me. I know it's got certain age restrictions, but most of you will be able to do it. And then I put 16k into a normal stocks and shares ISA. Now, why would I do that? Because the biggest cost is tax, okay? When you're making money, you're going to pay tax on it, but not in an ISA. Once you've got the money in, you can put a max of 20k a year. Personally, I do 4k and 16k, and then each and every year the compounding happens, you make money without paying tax on it. Next is your pension. Do I like pensions? No, I think they're fucking stupid for 99% of people. However, you can look into something called a SIP or a SAS. Not sure what that stands for. Small Administered Self-Assessment something. SIPs and SAS. Probably spelled both incorrectly, don't care. Now, why would I recommend a SIP or a SAS? 2 reasons. Number 1, if you set up your own limited company and say you got paid into your limited company, you can currently put up to 60,000 a year into your pension. Now, let's say you're a 40% taxpayer. I'm not saying everyone is, by the way, but let's say you're earning, I don't know, 100 grand a year, which I know is a crazy amount of money. It's just an example. Well, you're going to get taxed 40% of that. However, if you get paid it into your pension, then you get the 40% given back to you. Okay, so you don't pay tax on that money. And again, I have a pension in an ISA. I can also use it to buy a commercial property and loan to my company, and that is built-in tax-free. So that's 80 grand a year tax-free. Now, I know most people aren't in that one, but that's what I like using it for. The final thing I really like is the massive compound effect of growth. So, not financial advice, but I would look at the S&P 500 ETF. ETF is an exchange traded fund. Don't worry about it. Basically, follow the market. Over the long term, you're going to make about 8% a year. That's the gist of it. Not guaranteed, not financial advice. I'm not making promises. Your investment's at risk, all of the other shit, all right? The S&P 500, or if you really want, the FTSE 100, which essentially top 500 in America, top 100 in the UK. There we go. Basically, my tip is, why would you not cap out your ISA? In this order, your 4K, your 16K, and then your pension. Now, let's go to property, which is my favorite. And by the way, not a financial advisor, but I love doing videos on that sort of thing. Put money in the comments if you want me to do some more bits like that and talk about what I do with mine if you like. So, property. Passive income. How can I get passive income from property? Well, there is only one type of passive income, and that is boring, vanilla, buy-to-let properties. And no, boring vanilla buy-to-let is not the official term, it's just what I call it, but buy-to-lets. Okay, very simply, you have got this one property here, and I'm going to rent it to my mate Ollie over here. Look how happy he is. And then Ollie is going to go, do you know what? I like it so much having a roof over my head and being able to keep warm, I might actually pay you for it. That's incredible. We're going to pay you 750 squids a month. Do you know what? That sounds very nice. So what might that look like? Well, let's say you've got 50 grand of that 70 grand left over, just as an example. And you go, do you know what? I put 20 grand into the stocks and shares after ISA after not getting financial advice from Jamie York on his YouTube channel, after subscribing. And then what I did is 50 grand left over. And I thought, do you know what? There's a nice 100 grand house. I know if you're watching from London, you're thinking, I ain't buying a fucking shed for 100 grand. Well, up in Leeds, you can buy a property. In Newcastle, you can buy the whole town. Well, that's for another day. So we've got this buy-to-let property. Now, what's amazing about investing in property, apart from the fact you make money from rent, rental increases, and leverage, all right? Capital growth. Capital growth is where the money's at. So we actually don't put all of the money in. Typically, I'll put in 25% in this property, and the bank, the solid geezer that he is, will give me 75% of it. So I'm only going to put a deposit on this of 25,000, which is 25% of that. I've deliberately done 100 to keep it simple. Don't bitch and moan, I've done 100 grand property. Then, of course, I'm going to pay my favorite thing that I love paying, tax. Stamp duty, which is 3 grand on this. Just so you know, when you are investing in a property, you pay an additional 3%. So if you're thinking, you don't pay stamp duty on 100 grand, if you are an investor, yes, you do. So now we've put in 28 grand. Now let's say we've put in a refurb, just as an example, on this property of 10 grand. So we're at 38 grand now. And let's just say, just for ease, we've put in another 2 grand in fees, so solicitor and broker. Now again, this is just as a very rough indication on this. So we've put in £40,000. We've even got 10 quid left over. Or 10 grand. So we got 40 grand invested in this property. Now let's say we've got our rent coming in, and let's just net say we are making £200 a month. Now, that's not me saying that I'm renting it out at £200 a month. I mean after management, maintenance, etc. Let's say I'm making £200 a month. Well, I'm going to times that by 12, which is 2,400. Again, bear in mind, this is a basics video. So we're making £2,400, which 2,400 divided by 40,000 is going to be 6%. Bosh, Ollie's showing me a calculator to show that I'm right. 6%. So if you do that yourself, the 2,400 divided by that, it'll come out as a decimal place, which is 0.06. You times that by 100, 6%. But that's not really the exciting thing, is it, Jamie? I'm so glad you've asked, thank you. It's actually capital appreciation. Long-term capital growth or capital appreciation in the UK is 7.9%. Did any of you get it? Probably not. But if you did, amazing. That's a long term. Now, is that guaranteed every single year? No. Property prices, do they go up every year? No. But if you bought in a really solid area where demand is over supply, you're in good odds. Every single product in the world, the reason inflation exists is because more people want something than the something is available. I don't know why I'm being dramatic like this. But anyway, so let's be conservative and let's say we had 5% capital growth. So we're already getting 6% return there. But I'll go down here. Let's say 5% capital growth. Now, capital growth or capital appreciation is essentially inflation. All right? Inflation is when more demand than supply. So when inflation happens on your property, you've got demand pushing it up, capital growth, capital appreciation. It's not just on your investment. Remember, we've only put in 40 grand on this. But let's say there's 5% being long-term conservative on the 100,000. Well, 5% of the 100K is going to be £5,000. And that, yes, it's in equity, not in cash, but it's also tax-free. And by the way, if you want me to explain how this is tax-free and how we access it, put tax-free in the comments. My team are going to love it when all these comments come in there like, why are they even saying this? It's fine, don't worry, I'll do that. So 5 grand on the 40 grand is how much. Again, we do this by dividing 5,000 divided by 40,000, which again will give you a decimal place of 0.12. Ollie?
Yep.
Boom. Again, times it by 100, 12%. You add those together, you've got an 18% return. So you might hear ROCE, return on capital employed, or what I like to do is call it combined return. So you've got your rental income plus the capital growth. And the reason I show this is rent, can you guarantee rent coming in? No, but you'd like to think if you get in a good area, find a good tenant, you're going to get paid. Can you guarantee capital growth? No, but again, if you'd like to find a good area that follows a good structure, a great type of property, great area, regeneration, growth, established economics in the area and a great tenant type, then you're very likely to get both. And the reason I really push this is capital growth is where most people make their money. Here's the downside. You're not about to quit your job on stocks and shares or property. You are more likely to become a millionaire in property before you quit your job on the passive income. And I say that again, because some people love it, some people hate it. You will become a net worth millionaire through property sooner than you're able to quit your job. How insane is that? But it's really exciting because it's not just about you, it's about your generational wealth. And every single one of you, especially if you're younger watching this, can become a millionaire through stocks and shares ISAs just by investing up to £300 a month, which again, I know is a lot of money. But if you could invest £300 a month, I can show you how to become a bloody millionaire. But really, I'm here for the property. I like the bricks and mortar, I like the tangibility of it, and I like how exciting it is, which is why I've built a multi-8-figure portfolio, and I have nowhere near that in stocks and shares. So I like things boring. I like them passive. I like the longevity. And if you're anything like me and you've got 50 grand to 100 grand to invest, you've capped out your ISA and you go, do you know what? I know that property is a great investment opportunity. Then maybe I can help you build that portfolio. So if you want some strategic guidance on how to do that, and if we can help you, that's what my business does, by the way. I buy properties myself, but I also help people like you build your portfolios. Put APG in the comments. That stands for Aspire Property Group. So APG in the comments. I'll send you a link, completely free of charge, by the way. I don't even charge for this. You can book in a one-to-one strategy session with my team, and we're going to give you a strategic guide of where you're at and where you want to get to. And if we can help you on that journey, then amazing. I make money by you investing in the service. You make money by building your portfolio. Worst case scenario is you get the strategic guide to take away with you and you can implement it on your own. So hopefully you got value from this video. If you want to take this further, put APG in the comments. If you're new to the channel, you want to find out more about this stuff, hopefully you found this engaging enough to hit the subscribe and the notification bell. And if you did get value from the video, it helps out the team and me so much just by tapping that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.